Okay, Saturday morning in the kingdom, and there's no wind. Well, there's a slight breeze, but not like yesterday. That was terrible. Oh, the ravens are cawing in the background, just like the ex-wife. Nag, nag, nag. All right, so this morning we woke up, it was chilly willy. Yes, minus 11 Celsius, but feels like minus 15. Yes, the ground is frozen solid. Yes. And then on the yo-yo scale, plus 12 Fahrenheit, but feels like plus 5 Fahrenheit. Ooh, that's warm. Yeah, right. It's chilly out here. Also, too, we'd like to thank the people that sent the gifts to us. We really appreciate that, and it helps us along with our projects. Yes, because we live at the end of the world. And also, too, Johnny G's wedding anniversary today. I don't know how to spell anniversary because, I spent a couple of years in grade 3. So we got to wish Johnny G a happy anniversary. He's been married a long, long time. So, wow, yeah. So he's probably going to spend his wedding anniversary, watching TV with the grandkids and then falling asleep. Yes. Oh, the joys of getting old. All right, so let's scroll this way to see what we got for sunshine. Ooh, the ground's uneven. I went too fast. There we go. The sun is slowly moving farther north. Yes, north, because it's going to be summer soon for those 5 hot days. And look at the Black Fleet, looking good. All right, we're not sure what we're doing today. The staff is sick today, so she'll be doing laundry. Yes, hauling the laundry to her house to wash it at her house and then drag it back to dry it here in the kingdom. Yes. We have no idea what we're doing today. Maybe we should just day drink. Yes, just like yesterday. Oh, that sun is bright. I am so pleased with that plasma cutter. I should have built the whole rad cradle using strips and then welding it together. Then I wouldn't need that big channel iron on the bottom to start off with. But that was old school thinking. We had no means of cutting strips and stuff because we didn't have the plasma cutter back in the day. So now with the plasma cutter, I can build anything, maybe even a spaceship to go to the moon to see Alice. If you know who Alice is, you watched the Honeymooners back in the day on the black and white TV. Well, which is still black and white to me because I'm colorblind. All right, so I better get going. Here comes the boss.
Saturday morning in WHO-ville, and it's just after 8:30 a.m. and I'm finally rolling out of bed. I don't work at the store today, so I'm not sure what we'll be doing in the kingdom. I know I have to go grab my dad's bedding and a few other things, so maybe we'll just have a laundry day and hang out. I have to go up and do some shopping as well, but that's not until 11 a.m., so let's head inside, make breakfast, and let the dogs out. 11 a.m. and I just got the quad out. Now I'll head up and go do some shopping. I don't actually have to grab very much, just the stuff that's on sale and a few things off the list, so let's get going. 11:30 and I just finished shopping for 2 bags. It was $103. I was able to get more broccoli and a lot of vegetables. I saved about $42 with all the discounts. Now it's time to head to the kingdom and drop everything off.
Okay, it's turning out to be nice and sunny out there, and the wind is not howling like yesterday. So we got the hinges for the doors here, because we have this one on this side, the battery box. Oh, this is the 46 Chevy truck, yes, with the V8 305 in it. 305 cubic inches of raw, gutless horsepower. Okay, so the hinges came with our welding rod order the other day. All right, do the walk and talk video, because you guys need your exercise. We're hoping to play outside today. Yes, because being in the shop is boring. It's like a marriage. All right, so this is the way we did it. And of course, we used the Hobart Handler 100, and I created my own problems. Yes, I was trying to be careful. Okay, so what I was doing was cutting the wire back, just like as if it was a gas wire or with the nozzle. I was cutting the wire back for starting over here. So I created my own problems, right? So I shouldn't do that. You have to leave it sticking out 3/4 of an inch or whatever that is in metric, or for the US guys, I don't know how we'd measure that in the US imperial system. Yeah, we'll just go 3/4 of an inch. All right. Okay. Or a Duracell battery on its side. Okay. So over here, we clamped it down and we welded it. Okay. These are called bullet hinges, I'm finding out. This door is upside down because I did the other weld. Because this is called a bullet hinge. We call it a welding hinge because you can weld on it. Because see, it's got the little taper thing there. I don't know if you can see that, Les Nesman. All right, so that you can weld. Always make sure Okay, we want the doors not to come off, so that's why we got the grease nipples going 1 and 1. If we want the door to come off, the grease nipples would be pointing all in the same direction. And over the years, I've learned not to pre-grease these hinges before welding, because guess what happens? The weld heats it up and the grease flows out and screws up your welds. Trust me, I've done it. All right, so now I can flip this one over, and then we can do a quick buff grind on them, and then we can install the doors, and then we'll have doors on the 46 Chevy truck. Okay, I was able to do this door by myself, but I also used those WHO-ville or Norm Abrams lumber clamps or whatever, because they fit this box here, because the battery box isn't long. And I did not put the door upside down. I wrote it on the upside down, okay? But also too, we got it on. The staff has arrived just in time to help with the other door because the clamps don't fit or work. But here's how I kept the hinge cap from falling off. I wired it and then taped it. Couldn't tape it solid because it would burn, but I had to wire it so I could actually turn it. So I think we got some, let's see if we got enough talent here. There we go. So I just did a booger tax. Okay, there we go. Now I'll do a full weld on it. Hopefully that works out good for a door. We put the doors this way because if you forget to close them, when you travel, the wind will close the doors instead of opening them. Does that make sense, Les Nesman? Okay, let's get back to work.
Just after 11:30 and I've made to the kingdom and finished unpacking all the groceries. My dad's excited about all the on sale vegetables and fruit. I think he's gonna have a nice supper. Back in the shop now, and he's doing a big test on his little battery box here. As you can see, the door opens nice and wide. I have to help him with the other door on the driver's hand side there so we can put it on evenly, but it looks pretty good. And it even closes.
Excellent.
Now we can go do the other side. Almost 12 p.m. lunchtime, we officially got the door on. Now I'll head on back into WHO-ville and unpack my groceries, then I can make lunch. Today is just a laundry day because I have a bunch of my dad's bedding to do, so let's get going.
Okay, lunchtime in the kingdom. We got the doors hinges welded on. I'll do a stick weld over the MIG welds to make sure they don't fall off on these so-called rough roads up here. So now the door will hinge out and I'll be banging into it until I figure out the latch system. And then over here, yes, do the walk and talk. This one turned out well. I had to hustle and get my ass in gear to get it ready for when the staff arrived to pick up the laundry, because it's the blanket day today. She's washing everything, so that worked out good. She showed up just in time, or I was ready just in time. All right, let's go have some lunch, and then I think we're going to play outside today. Ooh, what a reward.
12 p.m. and I'm officially done in the kingdom. Now it's time to head on back into WHO-ville and start the laundry. Made it home from the kingdom. Now it's time to head inside, start all the laundry and my dad's bedding, make lunch, and let the dogs out.
Okay, after lunch in the kingdom, and we're doing a test fit. Yes, I put the swivel plate on the fork right here. Yes, and that made it a lot easier to get it out of the loader shack, because the fork is offset and the truck is straight. All right, so the hood kind of fits nice, not too bad, but we can make improvements with the rad cradle going up and down in relationship to the hood on the back of the hood on the cowl. Yes, but over here we're doing a test fit. Okay, these 720 truck tires are cheap to buy, or whatever. They only come from India in 6 months, but it's a 10-bolt wheel pattern we don't have any more axle parts to use in here, but we have the 8-bolt trailer tires, okay, and we have a broken axle or a bent axle. We can use the stubs to get the 8-bolt pattern, and these tires are cheap. Princess Auto now has them on sale this week, so that'd be not bad. I think they're about the same width as the tire back there, okay, so if we have a track going over and stuff like that. So we're doing a test fit measurements to figure out the axle suspension for this axle to make it the snow truck. Okay, also too, we got to figure out the gas tank mounting. Now we have the exhaust pipe on and the battery box, but we have to make sure we can still use the hold downs. Okay, so thought is required today, and it's freaking chilly out here. I got my jacket on. Look at that. So much for a nice day out in the sunshine. Well, I better get to work. Here comes the boss. Okay, we think the tie rod has gone bye-bye because these trucks were old and beat up and worn out, and I think that tie rod was too bad, so that's why we snafu'd it off and put it on the 39 or the 38 GMC. So we have to whip up a tie rod because anytime we go to lift it up with the new fork handler thingy-me-bob, those skis go every which way, just like my wife's legs when she drank tequila. So I'm whipping up a little tie rod. We'll put a bolt and everything in it, but this is the way we got to do it when we live in wilderness Alaska, but at the end of the world. Oh, Northern Manitoba, I'm all screwed up. All right, so I did some quick welds on the nuts there at each end, made sure they're kind of in line, maybe sort of. And of course we used the Lincoln AC buzz box and the little shorty stubs that are in the stub thing. So this works out good using up the short ones because they're just short little welds we're doing. All right, let's go test it out to see how bad the skis are pointing knock-kneed or pigeon-toed. Okay, they seem to line up pretty close. It's better than when I lift it up. It looks terrible in the pictures when we're trying to design something out of scrap metal. All right, so that looks all right. And that thing being painted yellow, that pipe, that is propane pipe from the mine, so that'll be like a seamless pipe, and it's a thick wall, so that's perfect to make a tie rod. And if I was to buy the ends, the factory tie rod ends, and then thread out the pipe to accept it, that's why we went for the bolts and make it a little longer. Also too, we have the steering drag link hooked up. I've been changing it out to these ones here. This ball and socket thing should be outlawed. I've done the kits where you change the balls, change everything in here, change everything, and it's a joke. The roads are so rough up here, just like the 1930s. We go along, hit a bump, and they smash them out. So I've been changing them out to this here. It works pretty good. A little bit of die grinding to get the angle in the thing, and it works out well. Very pleased with that. All right, so now we got that thing so it steers. We can now, how would you say, lift it up and it doesn't look stupid in the pictures. All right, now let's figure out on bolting this gas tank down and stuff like that, because we can't start the truck until we have a gas tank. So let's get the gas tank and the battery box mounted, and then hopefully we can get a, how would you say, get the motor running. Maybe not today. Okay, coffee time in the kingdom, and it's my lucky day. Yes, the fuel tank for this TD18, that's where the drain is. Okay, that's what would feed the fuel pumps and the injection pumps, and then this is the return. This is how the fuel came back that wasn't used. There's a brass fitting in here that breaks off all the time. So it was my lucky day with the easy outs. Oh, I wasn't ready. And the shadows, look at all the shadows, see? Hand puppets. All right, so I used my tap. It's the pipe tap to chase the threads, and I'm not going to block these off because due to lack of interest, we're not getting the pressure washer out. It is chilly out here, so having the gloves off and playing with the fingers in the sunshine, you can feel it. But as soon as you're in the shade, it's chilly, so there's no point in pressure washing this to get a little bit of rust and everything out from the inside. We'll continue on with the mounting brackets for down here. We marked it with the magic line there, and we have that big piece of steel over there that's well twisted and bent. It's going to work out nicely right in here. All right, let's go have a quick coffee, and then we can get back to work. Okay, we got the fuel tank temporary bolted down. We're using the 5/16 drill bit because, well, we have a brand new 5/16 drill bit. So we go until it's dull or till I break it. So what we did was just drill it out. I have to stand over here because the shadows knows. And also too, I made sure to use one 2x4 as the spacer in here. Okay, because in the past I'd grab two 2x4s and they're different thicknesses. Yes, 2x4 does not mean 2x4. It means variants of thicknesses. So I drilled it out, worked out good. We bolted the tank on, and to mark the holes in here, you can see it's in there. All right, carbon arc rod, just go in circle. See that? That works slick. So you don't need no fancy tools or anything like that. All right, so we got this on here temporary. We'll be drilling it out later on at a later date for bigger bolts and everything. And we have some good clearance on the cab there. All right, so the exhaust stack is there and clearance on the cab in case we have to pound a dent out, change the back window or anything like that. All right, so now the tricky part is we're going to temporarily mount the battery box, which is over here, because the battery box right in here, that's where the axle was going to be for the track axle. I don't know what you'd call it, the idler axle or something. The axle, the extra axle, the third axle. Yeah, so that's where it's going to be. So we're going to temporarily bolt the battery box down, so then we can start running electrical and stuff like that at a later date. But main thing is, as long as we have the battery box, we can actually start the motor and run and drive. If we have a rad, if we have a clean gas tank, and a few other things. Oh, and the dry shaft. See, it's right levered right down there. Oh, the shadows are bad today. We're going to have to drink more to see better.
5 p.m. and I just finished all the laundry. I did about 5 loads of bedding and my dad's laundry today. Now it's time to head on over to the kingdom and drop everything off. 5:30 and I just finished up in the kingdom, went down and talked to my dad a little bit. He's just tinkering on the snow truck. Now it's time to head on back into WHO-ville and do the weather. 6 p.m. and this is the temperature we're sitting at today. It's 4 degrees Celsius, which is 39 degrees Fahrenheit. We even have the feels like on the bottom. It's been pretty nice out today, but kind of chilly as well. I spent most of it inside sleeping and doing laundry. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs back in because I can hear them crying, make supper, and end my day.
Okay, just about 6 o'clock. We used the welder in there. Yes, you can't see it because it's dark in there. Yes, but here's the welding cables. And over here, yes, we worked in kind of dry ground. And we got the battery box mounted. Yes, just look at that. And everything is kind of temporary. Oh, the shadows. Okay, so I've just bolted it there. We'll enlarge those bolts, but we want this to flex, okay? And I'll do the welds underneath when I take it off when I do the fuel tank. But we want it to flex and twist, same as the gas tank. That's why there's no stringers going across to anchor it solid, because we want it to flex, just like when it was on the Cat. All right, so we just burned some 7018 1/8, and it worked out to be one rod. One rod for 4 corners. Oh, these lips need some vodka. All right, so we're very pleased with today. We had a good production run, and we'll set the Me phone up over there on the truck. Hopefully the dogs don't knock it over, so when we go to put the 39 Chevy Snow Truck back in the loader shed. Okay, just a lovely fun day in the snow in April at the end of the world, better known as Wilderness, Alaska, but in Northern Manitoba. So here with a short video, so we'll add something from the past. Yes, the past. Oh, it's finally a rainy, miserable day in the kingdom, and I'm in the shop playing around. It only took 4 hours this morning to set up both welders. Oh, I burped there. Lunch was good. Okay, to set up both MIG welders. This one is the brand new one that had aluminum in it that never burned enough aluminum to empty a spool. It's brand new, and it's on 035 wire. This MIG welder here, I used it all the time, wore it out sort of thing, and it was always, you know, it's on the 045, so it's my favorite welder. And the welding cart is a lot lighter to move around with no tank, so this is going to work out good. But I'm having to learn how to weld, because for the last 22 years or 20 years, the wire would never push through on the liners or something. I don't know. So they're all brand new liners. So the wire feed was always cranked up to number 10. Oh, it could almost be 11 like in Spinal Tap there, eh? And we always kept it at about here. And then if we wanted to burn a little hotter, we went there. You couldn't go any higher because the wire wouldn't come through. So that's how we welded for 20 years or 22 years. So now I'm having to learn the wire feeds and all that because everything is working because it's all brand new on both machines. So now we're having to learn how to weld again. So it's a little different technique and everything, you know, trying to figure it out. And I figured I'd weld the seat base for the 45 Chevy 3-ton. That way if the seat breaks, I know my welds didn't hold, and then I can stop and fix it. All right, more to come. Well, I'm very pleased with these welders because they're actually working as welders. We used to have this cranked to number 11 like in Spinal Tap, more volume. And we kept this one straight up and down, and that's all we could do. So we didn't really have much heat control. It was all done in the weld. And as you can see, I like my dip, like in Roger Rabbit, eh? We got to have the dip. And we whipped up 2 of these. They're for the 2-speed axles for the 45 and 46. It's hard to get used to going from the big nozzle cone down to this thing here. I seem to get it stuck and shoved in everywhere, but that's no problem. I'm learning. And we're going to make the park brake work tomorrow. We have to figure out how to mount it to the transmission because the new style transmission doesn't have the bolt holes, just like the 2-speed. All right, we'll turn over here very slowly so you guys don't get dizzy. And we found some more red paint, or gray, or whatever color it is. So I splashed it on as an undercoat, so tomorrow we can bolt down the seat frame, and the 2-speed lever is hooked up correctly, the way it's supposed to. Look at that. Now we just have to connect it to the rear end. Then we can go for a test drive once the drive shaft and a few other things show up from the south. All right, talk to you later. Okay, we're done for the day. That's a little breeze. The flags are looking good. I don't know if you can see the American flag over there on the Rust-Oleum boat. All right, so over here we have the flags. They're flying a little bit. They look good, adding color to their life. All right, let's go walk the dogs, drink some beer, make a video. We worked hard today. Talk to you later.